Ah, damn. This shit. I was sitting goddamn 2 feet from my Wi-Fi. Come on back in here. I was literally sitting 2 feet from my Wi-Fi when the shit went out. Yeah. She was going haywire. I was literally standing like 2 feet, literally standing over my Wi-Fi. So, I think it was because my wife had called. Yeah, I don't want to leave y'all hanging like that. But I did hit up my boy from. I got a close comedy friend from Dayton, Ohio. We about to collab on some stuff because I really want to get into Ohio funk music. That nigga Frank Green said he thought I dropped the blunt and burned myself. Y'all niggas are stupid. Y'all niggas stupid. But anyway, yeah. I'll hit up Quan. He said if you're in Dallas Fort Worth area and you're an electrician, plumber, framer, or in masonry, hit up Quan S. But I'm waiting on one of my boys from we're gonna talk about some Ohio stuff because I want to really get into why the Ohio sound was as great as it was. And I really want someone from Ohio to do a documentary on the Ohio music sound. But at the same time, I'm not gonna wait. Either someone from Ohio does it, or DwannBrown goes and talks to a bunch of people from Ohio and try to get the answer myself. I would much rather somebody from Ohio does it because I respect people in their hometowns. Yeah, I got a real close comedy friend of mine from Dayton, and he can put me in contact with just a whole bunch of native people from Dayton. So that's what I want to do. But I'd rather someone from Ohio do it. Somebody said Kid Cudi. No, do not put his name on that list, please. Yeah, Ohio's a home of funk. I love Ohio music. But what was I saying before I got cut off? What was I saying before I got cut off? Because there's gonna be people. A lot of people ain't the people. I have goddamn 400. I ain't never had 400 people in the live at this late. I've had that plenty in the daytime, plenty of times, but not at midnight. What was I talking about before my shit got cut off? I forgot. What's up, Nazrullah? But yeah, going back to that protest today. Yeah, the people that were there were on code. It was a good thing to see. I won't do too many more. I'm not a protest person. Again, I told you, I'm not a show up at the protest kind of guy. My lane is more analyzing what's going on and breaking it down in digestible pieces. I understand who I am, you know? And I just really, my heart is just really to see things and break it down for people. And that's where my gift is. But some things you do have to see up front for yourself. And if I feel led to see something up front for myself like I did today, then I'll do that. But don't expect me to be at every rally. I'm not. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee you I won't be at 98% of the rallies. I can guarantee you that. That's a promise. But if I feel the need to see close enough, all black CNAs, yeah, I was. See, I remember black people had CNAs on lock, and nurses assistants, and LVN, and then even nurse. But really, from CNA to LVN, black women had that on lock 20 years ago. Just 20 years ago. Here in LA. Hell, really? Shit. 10 years ago. 10 years ago. CNA to LVN. I would say as recently as 10 years ago. Now, all the motherfuckers is from the South Pacific. Whole bunch of Manny Pacquiao motherfuckers. Just Pacquiao. I mean, when my grandfather was in the hospital, rest in peace, everybody was talking that thong shit. I thought I was getting a pedicure. No, I'm not getting a pedicure. I'm at the motherfucking nursing home. I've had a couple old people in the hospital last year, and as soon as they come in the room talking, "How you doing, Mr. Brown?" As soon as they walk in the hallway, thong. Like, you niggas singing the thong song? What the fuck y'all saying? Shit. When my grandma was in the hospital back in 2009, shit, all the damn LVNs and CNAs had big booties. Now they may have had purple extensions and long ass nails and an attitude I didn't desire, but them big booties and them nurse pants made up for it. Now I go to see my granddaddy and it's thong. Sounds like a banjo playing. Who's playing that banjo? Oh no, that's Ling Ming Pacquiao talking. So that's what we're up against. Either you play nice and say it's okay, it's all right, they need opportunity too. Now if that's your point of view, okay. I'm not going to argue with you. And I understand that will be some people's point of view. I'm not going to tell you it shouldn't be, because I don't believe in telling people what they should think. I can only offer my opinion. And you could take it or leave it. And I'm not offended if you leave it. Because everyone has the right to decide for themselves. That's the way I see life. Everyone has the right to decide for themselves. So my point of view is the cultural legacy and monetary legacy, even though I don't directly have any children, I believe that belongs to the descendants of the people of my bloodline, because they've worked the hardest and the longest, and they've been the most marginalized. So I believe standing up and doing whatever I can do, whatever part that I can. I know I can't change the world by myself, but whatever part I can play in leaving something for the people that share my bloodline, I think it's worth it. Even though I don't personally benefit from it. I don't. I don't personally benefit. What up? Y'all have a good one. I don't personally benefit. But I think as a collective, we benefit. So if we benefit, then yeah, from that point of view, I 100,000% personally benefit. How do I feel about Eminem? He cool. You know, he rhymes and plays, you know, he does music. Dr. Dre had excellent production. Salute to Dr. Dre's production. Salute to Nate Dogg for his hooks. Eminem, all right. I prefer Common. Well, not this new Common. This whole last 10 years Common. This whole, ever since I got a fucking award Common is, this nigga been the Democrats' main boy. But the whole like water for chocolate Common, the B Common, hell, even the Electric Universe, I fuck with that album. I know a lot of you niggas didn't like Electric Universe, but I fuck with Common's Electric Universe. Flying through the night. There's so many greats to talk about before we get to Eminem. He's not really worth talking about. I got about 100, 200 rappers I want to talk about before I talk about him. Then when I'm done talking about those rappers, then I want to talk about the producers that produce the music of those favorite songs. And then when I'm done talking about those producers, then I'm going to start talking about 70s music. Then I'm going to start talking about 80s music, then 60s music, and then 40s music. And then when I'm done talking about R&B, I'm going to talk about jazz. I'm going to talk about blues. I'm going to talk about like music out of Moorish Spain and how the scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi. How we got that from Moorish Spain, out of Africa. Then I'm going to talk about how the piano came from Moorish Spain and so did the organ, out of Africa. And then I'm talking about how the piano came to be. The piano came to be because the harp was too big for them little ass Europeans. Go and look at them European statues of the 1200s, of the 900s. Them were some little motherfuckers. The harp was too big. So they had to turn the harp on the side, put it in a box, and that's what made the piano. And the piano came from Moorish Spain. Then I'm going to talk about how Dizzy Gillespie created salsa and bossa nova. And then I'm going to talk about the three major changes in music credited to Miles Davis, from cool jazz to fusion jazz to cover tunes jazz. And then I'm going to talk about the Clark sisters. Can I get a witness? Anybody know Jesus? Wrong. I'm going to talk about them. And then I'm going to talk about the motherfucking Mississippi Mass Choir. And I'm talking about 1,001 more things. And then when I'm done talking about them 1,001 more things, then, okay, I might have time for Eminem. That's how I see it. You know, maybe after we talk about the effect Fats Waller had on what will later on become R&B, and how when Fats Waller got on that piano, it changed with his stride piano. It changed how the piano was played forever. Then I'm going to talk about how Louis Armstrong is really the godfather of all of our music, because the way he played the trumpet with jazz, he brought in improvisation to jazz, and then the way he sang set the framework for what will become R&B. And so the combination of Dizzy Gillespie on the trumpet and vocals, Fats Waller on the piano, and then Howlin' Wolf on the guitar and Muddy Waters, how that fusion of those influences became R&B. We're going to have a long, like 15-hour long conversation about how that happened. then I might feel like talking about Eminem. That's how I feel about Eminem. That's how I read it for Eminem. Like I got too many things to talk about in music before I talk about Eminem. Like I'm gonna talk about how like Dizzy Gillespie's fashion sense influenced the civil rights movement, how Martin Luther King and Malcolm X dressed like Dizzy Gillespie, because Dizzy Gillespie was that nigga. I'm gonna talk about that. Then I'm gonna talk about Ohio's influence on music and how music wouldn't be the same without Ohio. And I really wish that somebody from Ohio does a documentary on Ohio music, because Ohio means as much, especially Cincinnati, not Cincinnati, especially Dayton. It means as much as Detroit, Chicago, New York, New Orleans, LA, Oakland. They all on the same level, what those cities mean to music. Memphis. Then I'm gonna talk about how ever since Atlanta's had the torch, Atlanta has not been responsible with the culture. We need to have that conversation as black people. Atlanta has not been responsible since it's gotten the torch. It's given us music of degeneracy. It's given us music of materialism. It's given us music. When Atlanta got the torch in music, when did Atlanta get the? We know Outkast is one of the greatest groups of all time. I ain't talking about Outkast. Atlanta got the torch in music, late 90s, early 2000s. Atlanta ain't told us to do shit but spend our money on hoes and clothes. Atlanta, and I'm not, don't give me your exceptional artists here and there. I'm talking about the overall message of music out of Atlanta has been degeneracy and debauchery and bullshit. When Atlanta got the torch, niggas owned the hood. Every hood in America has been gentrified while Atlanta has had control of the pulse of our music. We gotta have that conversation, Atlanta. I love y'all, but we got to have that conversation. When Detroit owned music, you were getting Aretha Franklin. You better have some fucking respect. God damn it. When Oakland had the sound coming out with Sly and Family song, Don't Call Me Nigga, Whitey. When Chicago had control through Curtis Mayfield, we was getting Those of Us Who Are Darker Than Blue, Stand Up. We were getting Move On Up. When Chicago had the torch, when Ohio had the torch, we was getting funky ass songs from Steve Arrington like Nobody Can Be You But You. That's what was happening when Ohio had the torch. When Philadelphia had the torch, we was getting the Philly International sound. We was getting Gamblin' Huff. We was getting McFadden and Whitehead. We was getting Ain't No Stopping Us Now. We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now. We in the groove. That's what we was getting when Philadelphia had the mantle. When LA had the mantle, on the folk side, on the R&B side of the game, we was getting the Whispers. Olivia the Slave. Lost and Turned Out. Who the fuck is this? I hate some loud ass motorcycle nigga parking in front of my house. The fuck? And he playing sorry ass music. What the fuck is this nigga playing? How you gonna be a grown ass nigga on a motorcycle playing teenager ass music? This nigga is 57 years old playing 17-year-old music. What the fuck is wrong with this nigga? That's what I was saying. L.A., the whispers came out of L.A. Olivia the Slave. Lost and Turned Out. Then when it got to the hip-hop, we gave you Death Certificate. A bird in the hand is worth more than Operation Push or President Bush. Black Korea. Songs of warning tell you these motherfuckers ain't shit and they don't like us. That's what we was giving you. Hell, New York gave us Nas. New York ain't gave us shit in about 20 years. New York also gave us Jay-Z and Puffy. But New York also gave us X-Clan. You dig? Atlanta. We gotta have that conversation. And don't tell me I'm in LA. I'm talking about every artist I'm talking about made national waves, not LA waves, not Chicago waves, not Detroit or Ohio waves. They made national waves. I ain't talking about the people who break in your city. I'm talking about the ones who break nationwide. Y'all got the power. Y'all break people nationwide every day. Y'all break nationwide artists every day. But who do y'all break? The fuck they talking about? Not just now, over the last 20 years. Atlanta took all the orchestration out of R&B. R&B used to have a part A, a bridge, a part B, an ending, shit, some violins, maybe a couple horns and some background singers. Atlanta gave us do 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 do, and that became R&B. Thank you, Atlanta. We gotta have that conversation. What are y'all offering? You got something to say, but what you saying with the mic? Let's have that talk. Dallas giving us Erykah Badu. Philly giving us Jill Scott and D'Angelo. Music Soul Child. Houston giving us Robert Glasper. You know what I mean? Yeah, Lil Jon nursery rhymes. The nigga Rob Trimble said Atlanta put Bussy in the game. Hey, you chat room niggas ain't shit. Like I said, don't go back to the Goody Mob Outcast. No. We ain't gonna do that. That was 30 years ago. LA gave you Kendrick last week, nigga. And Nipsey a couple years ago. People that gave you a little bit of game in their music that didn't have to do with drugs. Like shit. I just gave you last year. I just gave you 6 months ago. Anderson .Paak. We giving you that. Go listen to his non-Bruno Mars music. Anderson .Paak always got a little bit of something to say in his music. He always giving you some game in his music. We giving you that. Killer Mike, you mean the Demo? You mean the guy told you to vote for Bernie Sanders? He does have a little bit of game, but he ain't somebody. Ain't nobody listening to Killer Mike. I mean somebody that's hidden. I'm saying on the level of y'all hitters. Atlanta, y'all got niggas that's been hidden over the last 20 years. I ain't talking about people who had these little, dedicated fan bases. No. Atlanta been producing international stars. What is your international stars talking about? LA's international stars, Kendrick. Now, it could have been Nipsey if he lived longer. Ice Cube, I just gave you 2 generations. And if you go back and listen to The Chronic with Dr. J, The Chronic had a lot of consciousness on that album. It wasn't all ignorant. Go back and listen to Little Ghetto Boy on The Chronic. The Chronic wasn't all huff and pluff. The Chronic had some real shit to say too. It was a mixture. Same with Old School, Too Short, out of Atlanta. Out of Atlanta, out of Oakland. He moved to Atlanta. But when Too Short was in Oakland, he'd always had some consciousness to go along with his fuckery. He did both. It wasn't until the, record industry changed it on him. But I'm like, man, Atlanta? I'm saying this because y'all got the ear of the people. Do something with it. That can invest back into the people. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, D-Train. Look at D-Train out of New York. Remember, D-Train owned funk in the early 80s. But listen to D-Train's music out of New York. D-Train music, sky is the limit, don't, when you know the truth, don't. Well, how the hook go? Sky is the limit when you know the truth, you can have what you want, be what you want. That was D-Train out of New York. That was some uplifting ass music D-Train put out. Listen to the lyrics in D-Train's music. And that was all party music. But D-Train would give you a party song with an uplifting message. Yeah, keep on. Keep on. Don't give up. And he put that into a party song. Think about how powerful that is. Music is a prayer. And I'm here to talk to us. I don't want to hear excuses for Atlanta. I want to see a solution. Our music, black music, has a history of being uplifting and fun. Flashlight is a metaphysical song about your chakras, nigga. Earth and Fire, Serpentine Fire. That's a song about an awakening of the Kundalini experience. The song Getaway by Earth and Fire, Transcendental Meditation. Fantasy, another song about meditation. Take It to the Sky, Learn the Reason Why by Earth and Fire, all uplifting. Stevie Wonder, Golden Lady. Is there a better song about how you want to treat a black woman than Golden Lady? Come on, people. Rick James, Mr. Policeman. Rick James took time out to do conscious music. Mr. Policeman. Go listen to that song. Michael Jackson at the height of his career, Earth Song. Go and listen to that. What About Us? Michael Jackson laid his heart and soul out in that History album. That whole History album was a message for us. Michael Jackson was at the height of his career in 1996. All those allegations first didn't start coming till Dangerous album. And that's when he did Remember the Time. The first time black people were depicted as ancient Egyptians. He told you about What About Spain, gave you an encoded message to look at ancient Spain, Andalusia. Black people, you ran that too. He was telling you. Michael Jackson told you if you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change in Bad, on the Bad album. Michael Jackson said you got to start with the man in the mirror. And then he said, the planets are lining up. We're bringing brighter days. They're all aligned, waiting for you. You're just another part of me. What was Michael Jackson saying? We are the planets. We're aligned. We're together. When we're together, I gotta see you as me and me as you. He's giving us a message about how to see life and how to see one another. And through seeing one another that way, we can reach our highest levels as humans. Our greats gave us these messages. Max Roach, at the height of his career on the drums with bebop music, Max Roach showed us it's time. 1962. The time for marching is over. He was saying that shit before Dr. King's March on Washington. That's how on the post our music is. Max Roach redefined how the drums were played throughout the 50s with his work with Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker as a bebop drummer. And then his work with Clifford Brown with his band. So at the height of Max Roach's career, he came out with an album called It's Time about the civil rights movement and how we're done with marching. We need to come ride on these motherfuckers. But of course, the words weren't said vocally. They were played in his aggression on the drums. Go and listen to the album. Max Roach is playing in a tone that's saying the shit has to end now. It's time for our rights or fuck this shit. He set the tone for what will become the civil rights movement through jazz. So we gotta know that that's been the responsibility of our music. And Atlanta, what the fuck are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? I don't need an artist here and there. This is what we as a people have consistently shown. No matter who held the mantle in our music, whether Chicago had the mantle or Memphis, Isaac Hayes, Otis Redding out of Memphis. The whole Memphis sound, it's been no matter who's held the mantle in our music, New Orleans, Chicago, Detroit, Memphis, Dayton, New York, Philly, LA, Oakland. They've all given us a fair balance of substance in the music, not just one or two. Most, or at least half. We've always had that balance in our music, always, until it got to Atlanta. We gotta check that. We gotta check that. Because I'm not here to shit on Atlanta. I'm just saying Atlanta needs to get its shit together. What are y'all putting out? For real. What are y'all putting out? And where's the balance? And where's the balance? Hell, Larry Smith, yeah, Atlanta got a dope culture. Atlanta got all them business owners. Atlanta got, I've been to Atlanta. I dig the culture of Atlanta. All I'm asking for Atlanta is to give us something. Philly did it. Even DC did it. DC, Chocolate City. DC did it. Miami didn't do it. Miami bass, that's some bullshit. Rick Ross, I like Rick Ross's music, but I fucks with Rose. I listen to Rose's music. But Rose ain't gave us shit to live by. When 16 ain't enough. Ooh. Actually, that song is dope with 3 Stacks. When 16 ain't enough. I was born again. I love that song. The song he did with Kanye. I love that shit. But anyway, that's all I'm saying. But Jupiter's out. Jupiter's up and so is Saturn. Sedentary Greasy, I like that song too. I'm not overlooking anybody. I'm talking about the ones who hit hard. I was very clear in my criteria. I'm not talking about the regional artists that people like. I know who Big Crit is. He's out of Memphis. I'm specifically talking about Atlanta, and I'm specifically talking about the artists that they may go international. They put out some cool local art. After Outkast, after the Dungeon Family, the ones who went international don't really have much to say, and they destroyed R&B. Even the ones that did go international, like Usher, that production destroyed R&B. The destruction of R&B started in New York, and it ended in Atlanta. It started out with Bad Boy in New York, well, really Uptown Records in New York. Started with Uptown, got magnified at Bad Boy, and then got totally killed off in Atlanta. And I love L.A. Reid and Babyface. They made some of the greatest music of all time. But as the music evolved through the late 90s, they took away the structures. They took away the live instrumentation, the live horns, the live strings. They took away the bridge. They took away the endings. They even, in large part, took away the intros. They took music from a live, full-on musical production to basically trap music with somebody singing on top. And that's what became R&B in Atlanta, and that's what mainstream R&B still is. Trap music with somebody singing on top. Y'all done took away our violins. Y'all done took away our guitars. Y'all done took away our background singers. Y'all done took away our string sections. Go back and listen to any song from the 70s. Pick one, choose one, I don't care. You're gonna hear a full-on production. You're gonna have drums, you're gonna have keys, background singers, lead singers. They're gonna actually have to hit their notes. There's not gonna be any auto-tune. You can pick the city. Memphis, Philadelphia, LA, Chicago, New York. Doesn't matter. Same thing, string sections, a full-on live production. We go from that to when it gets to Atlanta, a Little John hook with somebody singing on top, with somebody singing auto-tune on top. Y'all killed mainstream R&B. Thank God for Philadelphia and Jill Scott and Music Soul Child and D'Angelo. And thank God for Dallas and Erykah Badu for keeping that shit alive. Shit, thank God for Minneapolis and Mint Condition. And thank God Philadelphia for the Roots. Thank God for New York for Roy Hargrove. And these people are, and goddamn Terrace Martin and Kamasi Washington out of LA. Thank God they was around to keep this shit alive. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Charlie P is literally like, it's like the USA. It's like the rest of the country still producing people with a level of consciousness and doing music with real live production done the right way. And all I can get out of people from Atlanta is drum machines. Thank God for Detroit and Dilla, nigga. And Chicago with Common and Kanye West. And goddamn Newport News with Pharrell, even though I got my issues with some things Pharrell do. Shit, DJ Quick out of here in LA. Keep using live drums. Dr. Dre, keep a live bass and live drums. Anderson .Paak again, new, current. Kamasi Washington. Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly use real live jazz musicians. And a lot of you niggas didn't appreciate that. He used real live jazz musicians. All of our music comes from the jazz. Y'all can't appreciate that? But I'm out of here, y'all. I think my wife just got home. Get my book coming out soon. I submitted it for copyright and all that shit. I'll holler at y'all.